Dishes in the sink, please. At 7:45, time for books and backpacks.
What are you writing?
Oh, a description of this morning's breakfast. Since I'm now stuck being the society editor, and your wife, Miss Lottie Dottie over here, says that my reservoir of adjectives is woefully lacking when it comes to describing the town's great social events.
Hey, I have to do obituaries and hospital news. You think that's fun? Anyway, I said I'd help you. Go ahead, read it.
All right. Mr. and Mrs. John Hartman entertained at a breakfast Wednesday morning for Miss Carson Lee Davis, Mr. Benjamin Hartman, and Mr. Elliot Hartman, all of this city. Mrs. Hartman was resplendent in pink chenille, gathered just below the bodice. The senior Mr. Hartman wore an exquisite bathrobe of velour, caught at the waist by a charming belt made of the same fabric.
You noticed.
Hey, Georgie, do you have a rag so I can wipe my windshield off?
No, I can get you some paper towels. Excuse me, is that yours, Elliot?
He wanted playing Monopoly with Little Reed.
You're kidding.
No, right on the railroads and everything.
Excuse me, this is a Mercedes convertible.
But it's for a kid.
I know, son, but you can't accept a gift like this from a friend just because his daddy's rich. This must have cost a fortune.
It didn't cost anything. I want it.
Well, I'm sorry, son, but you can't keep it.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's the safest luxury car on the road.
I know my pop would let me keep it.
Excuse me, but we cannot pattern our family on your upbringing. At 9, you had an apartment and your own bookie. Look, son, this is too expensive and it's ridiculous. And it's inappropriate for you to be driving a car that's nicer than mine.
But I was going to drive it to school and use it on my paper route.
Oh, great. That's a fine all-American image. I can see Norman Rockwell sketching it now. A little tow-headed 7-year-old boy wending his way down Main Street, tossing his carefully folded newspapers from a Mercedes 450 SL convertible.
Hey, don't make him mad, all right? Because if I get a hot date, I may want to borrow this thing.
Please, Dad, don't make me give it back. Little Reed Folsom has a bunch of cars. This is just the one he drives to Scouts.
That's disgusting. This will ruin your character. I can't let him give you something like this.
Why not? His dad gave you $75,000 to start your newspaper.
Goodbye, son.
Stay on the side, Bobs.
Just for today. We'll talk about this later. Come on, give him a push. Have a good day, pal. The good news is our printing press is on the way from Chicago, which means our presses could be rolling next week. The bad news is we only have 3 paper boys, and one of them is driving a little tiny Mercedes with very limited trunk space.
Don't you worry about Little Reed giving your boy that car. Daddy and I get him for free out at the dealership.
Really? Do you have anything in a midnight blue with mag wheels?
You mind? Okay, moving on. We're going to be meeting with some applicants this afternoon for the job of printer. We really need 2 men, but since we're on a budget, I guess we'll have to get by with just 1 man for now.
Hell, I get by with a lot less than that. The problem is, you always got to get a whole man when you really only need parts.
You know, Doc, there's a lot of you, but sometimes I'm really not sure you're all there.
Okay, what about applicants for receptionists? Have we got very many?
Oh, yeah, Reed and John and I are taking care of that. They're coming in today.
Good, because I am sick and tired of answering that phone. I know it's hard for you guys to understand, but if you're a woman and you started out answering phones and then you go on to something better, you never want to go back to doing that again. You know what I mean?
Well, it's probably a lot like having been married, except for being married is a lot more degrading and it pays less. Anyway, I don't know what you're complaining about. I'm the one that's out there having to do all the legwork for the society page because you think it's an insult for a woman to have to do it.
No, I don't. I just said I didn't want it.
Well, I don't want it either. I can't write this stuff. At last night's steak and bean dinner at the VFW hut, Radella Wadlow looked splendid in her Orlon jumpsuit and white zip boots. Her floral shoulder bag hung delicately over her massive shoulders as she pushed and shoved her way through the buffet.
Now you're getting it.
Now, what I want to know is, when are we going to talk about changing the name of this thing, since now I'm the #1 stockholder? Now, I personally like the sound of Reed Folsom's Daily Beacon.
Reed, we've been all over this. You cannot put a person's name within the name of a newspaper. It's never been done in the history of publishing.
What about Forbes?
That's a magazine, and thank you, Billy.
What about Jack and Jill? They done all right.
Reed, Jack and Jill are not real.
Are you sure? Because you hear a lot about them.
Excuse me. Before we delve any further into the genealogy of Jack and Jill, I need to get back to my psychology practice. I have an obsessive compulsive coming in, and I want to make sure she cleans my desk properly.
Are you going to write that advice column for us or not?
I don't know. I got to warn you, I am not Dear Abby or Ann Landers.
What do you mean?
I mean, I won't put up with letters from those people who get all upset because they invited another couple over to dinner who called the next day to say thank you, but never followed up with a written note. Hey, it's the 20th century. Get a life and be glad they didn't take a crowbar to your car radio on the way in. And I absolutely will not deal with anybody who does not know how to address her father's new wife. Call her Daddy's little tramp. What do I care? And above all, I will never, ever reprint a column so that some idiot who carried it around in his wallet for 20 years and then lost it can have another copy. If you had it for 20 years and still can't remember the gist of it, you're too dumb for me to help anyway.
Well, I think it's refreshing. That kind of honest, no-nonsense, tough love approach to helping people.
I'm sorry, but I think people want a little humor, a little compassion. Here, let me make up a sample letter, and then you try and answer it with a lighter touch.
Okay.
Dear Madeline, I think my husband's having an affair. He tells me he's not. How can I believe him? Signed, Fearing the Worst.
Dear Fearing the Worst, in a large saucepan, bring a quart of vegetable oil to a brisk boil. While your husband is still sleeping, pin him to the bed and hold the oil just inches from his groin. Trust me, he will confess everything.
I think that's a little rough.
Hey, it worked at my house.
America needs this woman.
Okay, done.
Damn, these cookies are good. You make these?
Are you kidding? What's the matter with you? I don't bake. Hell, I don't even thaw.
Well, actually, I think those were sent over by Vicky. She's coming in today to apply for the receptionist job.
Oh, Vicky. She's a good girl. You'll like her.
Listen, guys, I may be down at the courthouse while you do these interviews. I just want to remind everyone again that we need a real receptionist. Someone who can take shorthand and type and answer phones.
Hey, Vicky can do anything. Believe me, she got the full program.
Yes, well, I don't think we need to spend any more time discussing this. We understand it has to be a person with substantial skills.
Woo, baby!
Reed, please work with me. Okay, now about this co-ed bathroom, some of you people are forgetting to point the arrow up or down upon entering or leaving.
I think the arrow is too much trouble. Why can't we just knock?
I think the arrow has more dignity.
Look, I don't care if you knock or point the arrow or blow a foghorn, just so that you men put the seat back down like you found it.
I don't see what the big deal is. It's not like you're in danger of falling in.
Careful, or I'll come over to your house and bring something to a brisk boil.
All right, but as long as we're discussing this, why does the male arrow have to point up and the female arrow points down?
Oh, man, come on. You women are going to have to lighten up. You're always looking under every rock to find some sexual discrimination. There's no hidden agenda. It's very simple. We got one bathroom, so we have to have an arrow.
No, I understand that, but why does the female arrow have to point down?
Because I want my arrow pointing up.
Perhaps you'd like to come in for a session this afternoon and we can explore this little problem you're having with arrow anxiety.
Well, I think the bathroom portion of our meeting is over. Now, Billy, you're going to be covering the Pinkerton-Dickey nuptials tonight, right?
Yep, helping Lorena Dickey. They've only just begun.
And Georgie, you're at the City Hall the rest of the morning covering City Council.
Correct.
Do me a favor. Find out what they're wearing.
Hello.
Hello. If you're applying for the receptionist job, the applications are over there. Somebody's being interviewed by those 3 guys in there right now, and the rest of us are ahead of you.
Are all of you ladies here for the receptionist job?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope you're aware that this job requires a good deal of skill and competence. Can any of you type?
I can print. My sister can type. So what do you need to type for?
Well, this is a job for a receptionist who types and takes information down over the phone, maybe does a little shorthand.
Shorthand? I was told they just need someone with big ones to sit out front.
You're a friend of Reed Folsom's, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
May I ask where you work now?
I'm a cocktail waitress at the Idle Hour Country Club. As a matter of fact, we're all waitresses at the Idle Hour Country Club. Where do you work?
I work here.
Do you take shorthand?
No, I don't.
Oh, I see. Then big ones really do count. You tried to throw us off.
Will you all just excuse me for 1 minute? Madeline, have you seen those women out there? These are the women that Reed Folsom has sent over to be our receptionist. And not one of them can type. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can. As a matter of fact, I don't believe there's anybody in that room that can even see the letters on the keys. Boy, that one in the bustier is really packed in there, isn't she? If that thing blows, we're all gonna die.
You know, this is the kind of thing that really singes my shorts. I don't know why I should be surprised, though. I mean, this is typical behavior coming from men who always have to have their arrows pointing up. But, you know, I thought you go into business with two men, equal partners you love and respect, then all that old sexist game playing and nonsense will be a thing of the past, and then something like this happens, and you realize things haven't really changed very much at all.
Always remember, the only thing a woman ever changes about a male is his diapers. Anyway, it just proves what I have always said. Men's brains are in their pants, which is why I went into psychology in the first place.
Why's that?
Because I've always been interested in exploring the human pant.
Well, I'm going to march right into that conference room and give them a piece of my mind. Will you come with me?
Why?
Well, you're going to be working on this paper, too. I mean, it's obvious we have to lay down a few ground rules. And anyway, I think as women, we ought to stick together.
Oh, sure. I just love this girly stick-together stuff. When you know if you were single and we had a dinner date, you'd dump me for a guy named Jerry you met at the car wash, and then force me to be in your wedding and shell out $120 for a pair of mint green potosois shoes and get into a big old stupid dress like Kitten wore on Father Knows Best.
Are you coming or not?
All right.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to be the one to have to tell you this, but if you can't type or take shorthand, you really don't meet our professional needs, and you might as well just go on home.
Oh, yeah, and, who are you again?
I happen to be one of the owners of the paper.
Really? You don't look like an owner.
Well, I am. I am an owner with big ones. Are there any other questions?
Look, if it's all the same to you, we'll just hang out and take our chances with the guys in there.
Well, you know, it's not all the same to me. I'm sorry. I've tried to be nice about this, and this is not your fault, but enough is enough. This is ridiculous. You guys are being considered for this position for reasons other than your skills, and frankly, that is not the way I do business, and it's never going to be the way this paper does business. Madeline, will you please show these ladies out?
Me? Why?
Because they'll be afraid of you. Please, just do it, then they'll know for sure that I'm the boss.
Well, excuse me, Miss Big Valley, but I'm not your bouncer, and I'm not escorting anyone off the premises. Now, if you want me to make a bunch of sarcastic remarks that could destroy their self-esteem, I could do that, but there will be a charge.
Boy, they've been in there a long time with that last applicant. I think somebody hit pay dirt.
Well, we'll see about that.
Wow, has everyone had a recent mammogram? Just checking. I don't know what made me think of that.
And I said, sir, are you absolutely sure you want to buy me that dress? I mean, I don't even know you.
No flies on her.
I don't even know you. Oh, hi, Georgie, honey. Yeah, we're just welcoming the newest addition to our Daily Beacon family.
Oh, really? Excuse me, but I thought you were just going to be doing the interviews today, and then later we would all sit down and decide together, you know, like in an equal partnership where everyone has a vote.
Hey, trust me, it would have been 3-1. You can't fight this.
Oh, Mr. Folsom, you're embarrassing me.
Anyway, we were afraid Miss Bumpers would get away. You know, she is so skilled and so qualified, we were worried somebody else was just going to snap her right up.
I'm sure you were. It must have been awful for you. Excuse me, Miss,
Bumpers, but you can call me Vicky.
Okay, Vicky. Vicky, I'm sure you're a very nice person, and the appeal of your cookies is undeniable. But the truth is, and I'm only going to say this one more time, we need a receptionist who has some actual working skills. You know, shorthand, typing, taking dictation, office expertise. And frankly, I have this very strong feeling that you're just not going to fill any of those requirements.
Well,
I know there are businesses all over America where women are used as mere office ornamentation, but in spite of what these three men may have told you, a pretty face, a great pair of legs, and a blouse full of big ones do not count for diddly squat around here, and as long as I draw breath on this property, they never will.
Honey, I think you should know that Miss Bumpers types 90 words a minute. She is a certified shorthand instructor and was voted Secretary of the Year the last 3 years at her previous company.
She's also very active in the local Big Sisters organization as well as the church choir.
Well, in that case, my congratulations. Now, if you will just excuse us for a minute.
Oh, sure.
The point is not whether or not this woman is qualified for the job.
Oh, I see. Now that she can type, we have to shift the focus of the complaint to something else. What's wrong with her now? Flat feet?
No, obviously nothing is wrong with her except the method by which she was selected. But that's fine. Since you have all failed to consult me on this very important decision, then I alone will be selecting someone for the job of journeyman printer this afternoon.
That's a guy, right?
Yeah, probably.
Hey, knock yourself out.
Oh, don't worry, I will. In fact, I think I should inform you, since we are all equal partners, that I won't just be selecting someone who's qualified to perform the duties of journeyman printer, but in addition, I intend to make sure that he is well endowed with the full program. And from where I sit right now, that will also include having buns of steel. To have anything for a nosebleed, do you? This guy I just hired is having a problem.
Well, I got this crazy glue. I guess you could glue his nostrils shut.
No, thank you. What are you doing with crazy glue?
Well, my dear, I am proud to inform you that we have struck the first and perhaps final blow in the great toilet war.
You didn't?
Yes, the seat has been secured permanently. Now, if they want to lift it, they'll have to rip it out of the floor.
You're a stud.
Thank you. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go destroy the evidence and indulge in a Victory Mounds bar.
What's going on?
Nothing.
So, where's Fabio the printer? Have you hired somebody yet?
As a matter of fact, I have, and he's eminently qualified. He's bright, he's eager, he's prompt.
Oh, I get it. He's got buns of lard, doesn't he?
If you must know, I didn't have the entire Idle Hour Country Club cocktail waitress talent pool to draw from like you did. And anyway, Lonnie was the only one who still had all his limbs. You know, being a printer's a very dangerous job.
Lonnie who?
Lonnie Garr. He's in there filling out a W-4 form right now. What?
Lonnie Garr? You gotta be joking.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
What? What's the matter with him?
Well, let me put it this way. In high school, wherever Lonnie sat in the classroom, there would always be an empty seat in front of him, behind him, and on both sides.
Well, then I guess we'll just have to get 4 extra chairs because he's ours now.
Lonnie Garr. Hey, Lonnie. Good to see you. Boy, it's been a long time.
How you doing, John? Billy Bob?
Hey, please, Lonnie, sit down. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. I understand my wife, Georgie's already hired you.
Yes, she did. Is there anything wrong?
Oh, no.
We just wanted to make sure that you understand that we're looking for an all-around journeyman, not only someone who can operate the big press, but all of our equipment.
Yep, that's right. I'm your guy. I'm proud to inform you I've had 17 years experience with the blade, and they don't have a machine I don't know how to operate.
Hey, that's great. That's very reassuring.
Why, it sounds real good. I mean, maybe this will work out okay.
Yeah, the only reason I quit was because of this lawsuit over a really big hole that my neighbor said I dug on his property, but it isn't true. That hole is on my property, and what I'm doing with it is nobody's business but mine and the United States government. Well, that's assuming that my patent goes through.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I know you guys thought I was weird in high school because it looked like I didn't date. The truth is, I did date. I just didn't tell anybody about it.
Well, that's okay, Lonnie. We've had some dates like that, too.
It was a girl who's from out of town. Way out of town. In fact, I still have some of her things. I mean, a corsage and a shoe she left behind. I keep thinking I'm going to have a garage sale and get rid of it. Then my mother is so sentimental. By the way, I do not live with her. I don't know why people keep saying that. I never even see her, except for the days I take her out to our meat locker.
Lonnie, are you sure you really want to work here? I mean, I would think you'd have a lot of seniority built up over at the Blade.
Well, I do, but I like the idea of working for a newspaper that's just getting started. Anyway, tell you the truth, I really could use this job. I kind of been making plans. Do y'all remember Brenda Swain?
Brenda can't say as I do.
She was a year behind us in school.
Was she a majorette?
No, but she can twirl the baton, I'm pretty sure. Because I know she tried out.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, she is working out at the photo hut now. You know she had an illegitimate baby that everybody said looked like a pig. But Brenda herself is very attractive. Apparently, she just sits all alone in that hut all day long.
Uh-huh.
I take my pictures there, and she and I have gotten to be pretty well acquainted. Sometimes when I pick my pictures up, I'll kind of circle the hut and keep waving at her. Or there's a light pole about 100 yards from the actual hut, and sometimes I'll kind of floor it while I'm circling that. I mean, dust goes everywhere. It's pretty awesome. Man, she hollers, and she shakes her fist, and sometimes she yells, "You get the hell out of here, you little sawed-off rut." But you know, I think it's pretty apparent to everyone that there's a kind of Tracy Hepburn thing going on between us.
So, Lonnie, would you be able to start right away?
Oh, yeah, sure. I got a lunch in my glove box right now. I'll just need a few little breaks during the day. I got a couple of things I need to irrigate.
Oh, well, of course, don't we all? Well, I think it's gonna work out just fine. How about you, Billy?
Uh-huh.